Cat TV is celebrating 30 years of community media. Help support Cat TV's next 30 years by becoming a member today. Your membership will help us continue covering meaningful, local content. Thank you for supporting your local community media station.
Second.
Okay. Any questions? None? All in favor? Raise your hand. Okay. Passed. The third, vendor warrants, number 1046, 1050, and 1051. Motion to accept those three. Second? Okay, Dane, second. Okay, any questions on the vendor warrants? Okay, seeing none, all in favor of the vendor warrants, raise your hand. Okay. Cash flow
I'm just going to
revenue.
abstain from 1051. Cat TV's payments in there.
Okay, well, thank you for that.
And Ken,
Yes,
this is Becky. Just because we're meeting in Zoom, I'm going to go back to like we did before. I'm going to send all of these that just were approved through DocuSign for you to put your signature on, because we're not meeting in person to pass them around. So just please watch your emails.
is that the person I keep getting them from? Is that your assistant that sends them out?
Yes, the reason you're getting them, the ones off the meeting times, it's because you're one of the approved signers. And that
Okay.
is my assistant that sends out any warrants when we don't meet so that we could still pay those bills. Yes,
Okay, thank you.
thank you.
Okay, the cash flow revenue and expense treasurer's report, they're all have been included. If anybody has any questions, they can ask Betsy, and I'm sure she'll be able to get us the answer. Committee reports. Did any committees meet, Mike, during the past 2 months?
No, there have been no committee meetings.
No, okay. Action item, a nomination for paraprofessional transportation specialist, Mike.
Okay, you should have 2 nominations in your Dropbox or in your packet. The first one is for Bruce Miles, who's replacing Rich Ryder, who retired this year. Bruce has experience with Green Mountain Express, holds his CDL, and has taught part-time for us as an adult ed instructor for the past 2 years for our CDL program, and has a long history with the Vermont Department of Motor Vehicles as a licensed examiner. So recommending him for 1.0 FTE for a paraprofessional.
Okay. Can we have a motion to accept his nomination?
So moved.
Okay, second. Okay. Any questions about Mike? Any questions of Mike? Seeing none, all in favor of the motion, raise your hand. Okay. Next, Mike, you said there were 2?
Yes, the second nomination is for Paul Redding. He is replacing Tim Mullen, who, as you know, has been filling in our manufacturing program. Tim has taken the manufacturing job as a full-time teacher and is now in school to do that, which we're very happy about. Anyway, Paul has graduated NUHS in '96. He's CPI certified, also SafeServe manager certified, has worked in multiple schools in the past as an intensive needs paraeducator, and also works with the Bank and Youth Center and coaches for assistant coach for MUHS. So I'm recommending Paul Redding as for nomination for paraprofessional.
I'll move it.
Okay, second.
Second.
Okay. Questions about Paul? Seeing none, all in favor, raise your hand. Okay, unanimous. Okay, superintendent's report.
Well, that came up quick. Okay. I have a lot of things to cover. I'll try and be brief, but we have 2 months worth of information, so I'll kick it off here. First of all, it's been a busy summer here at school, and I'd like to thank the RGB for their support of our CTSOs, particularly Skills USA and HOSA. This past June, we had simultaneous trips to both Nashville, Tennessee and Atlanta, Georgia. Both groups represented us well as Vermont state champions, with our criminal justice team earning a bronze medal at Skills USA National, which you probably saw in the paper. Those events compete with post-secondary institutions nationwide, so it's quite an honor. And congratulations to all those who earned a top spot to compete and represent Southwest Tech on a national level. We're very proud of you. I was not able to get the video up today to show you one of the cell phone videos that the student took and sent it to an instructor for me. It was quite the event. There were literally tens of thousands of people in a large stadium, and to hear our name called up on stage with, just like Hollywood, it was pretty amazing. And the kids were so proud. And I'll try and get that clip up for next. It's only like a 30-second clip, but it's pretty impressive. We were really
I think it was a great selling point that one of the young ladies was from BBA.
Yes, it was a good cross mix of students, and so it was nice.
We should get an article in the paper about the school, because we're always trying to attract individuals, and someone from BBA getting that honor, it's a good plus for our school.
Yes, absolutely. Also, for more than a decade, as you probably know, Southwest Tech has partnered with the Bennington Police Department's New Experience Camp. We hosted a day-long introduction to the Tech Center last Monday, August 1st, with close to 40 students in attendance. I'd like to thank everyone that was involved with setting that up and getting it going, including Nick Delory, our culinary arts instructor, Tom Haskins from Automotive Tech, John Lamson in Forensic Science, Brian Kuhn in Building Trades, our guidance coordinator, Lisa Harrington, outreach and marketing, Nicole Sauer, also Donnie Vosberg and Dufour Tours, who donated an additional bus for the week due to extra campers. One of the things that we commit to for the camp is not only hosting the one day at the Tech Center, but also providing transportation for the students for that week, and that helps the camp out a lot. This year they were overbooked, I guess, with campers, and so it would have required an additional bus for us, and we didn't have a bus that size. So Dufour graciously offered up a full-size bus to use during the week, which was nice. We still used our vehicles as well, but we wouldn't have had the number of drivers needed, so it was really nice. And also Lori Wright, who drove all week, and Sandy and the rest of the office staff who helped pull everything together. Next, I want to give you an update on the building. It's going to undergone many facelifts this summer in areas such as classrooms, bathrooms, hallways, flooring, and common areas with new paint, trim, etc. I want to thank Tony Donfrio and his staff for attending to the lengthy list of items I provided in late spring. As you know, and I know you agree with as well, I'm a firm believer in maintaining the building which we have, because we're probably not going to get a new one anytime soon. And it's good to welcoming and clean and fresh and present all the time as possible. So the school is looking great. Also, as you recall, back in our June meeting, you approved 2 new vehicles for automotive. I'm happy to report that one of those lifts has already been installed in the shop. Much to our surprise, we thought it'd be a lot later than this, but it came in pretty early. The other one is on schedule, hopefully to be in by the end of fall. Let's see. We also took the opportunity this summer to have several of our vehicles refurbished with body work and additional mechanical work to ensure more service life and also enhance their appearance while on the road. Many of our vehicles, as you know, are aging, especially with the road salt and things like that. We have been new vehicles that we're getting in, and newer vehicles we do undercoat with a fluid film or something similar as such to help them last longer. But I know we're not getting a new van or vehicles probably anytime soon, so we're going to try to maintain them as best as possible. So a small investment in the vehicles hopefully will get us a couple more years out of them, as recommended by our transportation coordinator, Tom Haskins. I also want to update you on the flood. I know that seems like there should be more updates on the flood, but there are updates on the flood that happened way back in November. We're still dealing with some insurance claims. But the majority of the physical repairs are nearing completion, minus the assembly room, which part of the reason we're not there today. The assembly room is still a staging area for all the IT equipment and everything. I've asked Tony and his crew and the construction crew that be the very last room that they touch. It's most important to get the classrooms back together, and so that the teachers are all set to go for the start of school. We can find some other space to meet with for folks for that room. So I am happy to report that the majority of the rooms are back together. Supply chain logistics, if you've ordered things, they are real. It's taken several months to get lighting in and flooring and things that were needed for those classrooms. If it wasn't for our building trades department and Brian Kuhn, there still wouldn't be cabinets in those rooms probably because they'd be on back order. So they did beautiful work on those. And I want to also acknowledge a couple of folks. There's been a lot of people who have worked on this insurance claim, two in particular. One, I want to acknowledge Dan McGuire, who's our one-person IT department. And he has literally worked on assessing, inventorying, repairing, and tagging literally thousands of pieces of items that were damaged in the flood. When we think of just a computer or a monitor, but it comes with all the accessories, like with a computer, printers, monitors, keyboards, mice, they all add up pretty quickly, and all their accessories. So he has been almost single-handedly working on that for months. And the other person I want to recognize is Rebecca Tattersall for her really tireless work on this insurance claim, which has been a nightmare, quite frankly, from day one. It's just, I think our insurance company anticipated it to be a much smaller claim than it was, and it's very detail oriented, and Becky has been on that right from the get-go with her patience, due diligence, and ensuring every item is accounted for and properly documented. I say that patient should be Rebecca's middle name because that is, she's certainly proven that during this trying period. So thank you, Becky, for all the hard work on that. And we're not done with it yet. We still have probably a couple months to go, I'm imagining at least, of trying to get it squared away. And I'm hoping there's no more floods anytime soon. Also, positions, thank you for approving the nominations today at the board meeting. At this time, we have all positions filled for the start of school, which is really amazing. I will tell you that application-wise, for the positions we've listed, it is very hard to find folks to hire. And I know you've heard that from other schools, I'm sure, and other businesses. It is tough. We do not get 10, 15, 20 applications anymore for a job. You might get one or two, despite months of advertising. So it's tough, but I'm happy to report that they all are filled, including our teaching positions. So we are ready to go for the fall. Also, school starts soon, Monday, August 29th, which is not too far away, just about 20 days. We have 2 professional development days on August 29th and 30th, with MAU freshmen returning for orientation on Wednesday the 30th, and all of our sending schools will start full-time on Thursday, September 1st. Also this year, we will be continuing with our SEL, or our social emotional learning integration into all of our programs, with additional professional development for all of our staff on August 29th with Whitney Adams from 7 Mindsets. This will be Whitney's second trip to visit us for professional development. She was here in the spring, and I was supposed to be here last fall, but due to the storm that we had, couldn't make it up. And I tell you that her training was well received. It was very invigorating and knowledgeable, and I think teachers and staff really enjoyed it. And that training will be for all faculty and staff, not just our instructional staff. And lastly, I just want to prepare you for next month. I'll have a detailed report for you, probably in writing before the meeting, regarding our NEASC accreditation, which is fine. There's no problems. So we're just going through our five-year cycle, and they're coming this fall for that. Also, some AOE compliance items that we need to address, state testing and enrollment for the center, which I would like to tell you, we have a very full house this year for programs and short blocks. There's not much room at the inn for empty seats, which is really good. There are a couple programs that have lower enrollment, but there's no program that's in danger of not having students or anything like that. So, as you know, our capacity is approximately 500 plus minus students at any given time, and at the last check, I know we're well into the 450s, if not higher. So we're pretty full, which is great news. So that sort of concludes my report for today. I'm happy to answer questions for folks that you may have.
Any questions?
Jackie.
Yes, I have a question or a suggestion. I noticed that several places in town have corporate accounts for the rec center in town, which includes the pool and the, excuse me, and the equipment for physical prowess. and I was wondering if we couldn't look into that too and offer it to our teachers. As I understand, you pay a lower amount of money, and I don't think we pay any money, but I think it would be a wonderful thing to offer our teachers, and see if we could do it.
Jackie, I think that's something that we could look into and find out what the cost may be and bring it back to the board.
And from what I hear, I don't know if the like the hospital pays anything, but I do know that the people who use it pay less than the monthly fee, or the one-time fee, or whatever fee that there is.
Right, and also that on that thread, Jackie, we also subscribe to VHI, which is the Vermont Health Initiative, which all schools participate in, I believe, and there are also incentives in that for physical health and things like that as well. So that's also a resource that we utilize.
Thank you.
Chuck.
Michael, I was just wondering if there's any chance the theater arts will be coming back?
It will not be for this fall, that I can tell you. It certainly may in the future, but the Agency of Education does not consider it in our area, a high wage, high demand career field. And we're one of the few remaining schools that offers theater arts. I think it's very important, I do, and I think that we should continue to support the arts. I know that there are folks on our board that went through theater arts, and the productions that were put through in conjunction with the drama club at MAU. So to answer your question thoroughly, not this year, and it doesn't mean that theater art can't happen in the future, but what it may mean is that the board may have to commit to the funds and the salary and the cost to run that program without any state support, and that's where it's sort of headed for programs that don't meet the rigor in the state's eyes anyway of what should be at a career and tech center. So that's kind of I hope that answers your question.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'd like to piggyback on what Chuck said. I think personally it's very important for kids to stand and deliver a speech. And I don't know how we can incorporate that, but when you go into competitions, someone in the group has to tell what they did, okay, or how they did something. It also is a life skill, for people to stand and deliver. And I don't know how you can incorporate that within the curriculum, but I would think that each piece of the curriculum could have that focus. Sure. When you have a drama club or say a debate team, these things, are automatic. The kids get up and are helped. But I think there's another group of people who do this on an adult level for corporate types of people. And I forgot what it's called, but you're allowed to stand up and deliver a speech each week, and everybody critiques you. And so I'll look into that and forward it to you.
Okay, thank you, Jackie.
I know what it is. It's Toastmasters.
Okay. And I also want to not for the board to think that we're totally throwing theater arts out the window, because that's not the case. Much like we're doing with our automotive program, as we call after-school programming, like our introduction to small engine repair, there's still partnerships and availability for after-school clubs that we're exploring with Mount Anthony and Lynn Sweet, and we have a great relationship, John Lamson and Lynn do, in the theater program. So there's still going to be opportunity for students who are at Southwest Tech to participate in some capacity. It's just not in the form that we're all used to for this coming school year.
I mean, I would observe that Jackie's pointed out one benefit. The other benefit is that while there's acting jobs out there. There aren't a lot, but there are a lot of theaters and institutions in the area that need people with the technical skills, the scenery, the camera work, all of that kind of stuff in the background. And there's Dorset, there's Weston, there's Williams Theater, there's Oldcastle, BPAC. There are a lot of institutions like that need people in the background. And instead, some of our folks have benefited from those programs.
Right, and we also have an intro class which is called Stagecraft, and that is sort of introduces students to many of the aspects, Chuck, that you're talking about, all the technical aspects of lighting and setup and construction and all those components that go into a production that many of us probably don't think about. So there are components of it. I think it's something as a board and as a school we'll want to explore in the future of how can we offer if we're allowed to, and what that might look like.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
No, I think like Chuck mentioned, we are in a area that is heavy with theater. Maybe other, career development centers aren't as close to those, and maybe that's why the state doesn't support that type of course. Maybe if we would be able to ask for it and give them documentation, is why it would be a good idea to support us with that field. Wouldn't hurt to try.
Right, and the state's, the state is, I don't want you to think the state is narrowing in on theater arts and telling us to close the door. It's not what they're doing. But they are doing programmatic reviews of all tech centers and the programs that they offer, and to make sure that they're aligned with industry standards and local need as well. So it is a big undertaking being directed by the AOE. And we're going to find things that we're going to have to modify and change and enhance and et cetera as this process goes forward.
Okay.
Okay, if there's no more questions, that concludes my report.
Okay, the only thing I have is a reminder for the board that the Vermont School Board Association does have an annual meeting coming up at the end of October at Lake Morley. And if anybody's interested, they should let Becky Tattersall know, and hopefully she can get arrangements for reservations and so forth. Again, I'm not sure exact date, but it's a Thursday and Friday at the end of October. Okay, so if you're interested, you can check it out online, VSBA, Vermont School Board Association. They have a lot more information. You can log on to be getting all their newsletters that come out once a week about what's going on in the state pertaining to education. Okay,
October 2021.
October 21. Thank you, okay, Jackie.
No, October 20 to 21.
Yeah, okay. Yes, Leon.
Well, I just wanted to remind, I couldn't tell when Vermont School Board had the Roberts Rule clinic last week. I couldn't tell whether anybody was able to chime in on that. And so I was on it, and then Jackie said she was on it. And I thought it was a great thing that the school board had out there. And it's also a tape version. I hadn't went to look at it, but the minutes and all the stuff that was done for that Robert Rules in terms of a small board and a regular school board and what to do is all still available for you to look at if you didn't attend that meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Leon. Do you know when the next one will be?
You can go online and get the with Susan and get all the information from the last one.
Thank you.
Yeah, they archive all the stuff that they do up there. So if you go to the site, you can pick up and watch one of the tapes. Yeah. Jackie?
Well, one of the things I learned is when we're online, I didn't want to bring this up in the beginning, but when we're online like this, we're supposed to not have just a voice vote. We're supposed to have a roll call vote. The other thing that I learned, and this happens when we reorg, in the spring is that we're considered, because of our numbers, less than 12, we're considered a small group. And there's different rules under Robert's rules for a small group rather than a large group.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Seeing none, can we have a motion to adjourn then?
So move.
Second.
Second? Okay, all in favor? Raise your hand.
There's a hand vote. All right.
Right. Okay,
Okay. Well, thank you, everybody, very much. And we'll see you in September.
okay, thank you, everybody.
September.
Bye-bye.
Hi, thank you.
Take care, everyone.
Take care.
Cat TV is celebrating 30 years of community media. Help support Cat TV's next 30 years by becoming a member today. Your membership will help us continue covering meaningful, local content. Thank you for supporting your local community media station.